Hello everyone, Lambert's Auto Works today. We got my 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. We're going to end up doing an install today, and I just wanted to kind of walk you through on why you would want to do this. So as you can tell, we're going to be working in this pedal area here, so I've kind of cleared out my seating area a little bit, but I got this really cool pedal monster. You can see it there. Pedal monsters are basically used to kind of interrupt the electronic signal with your throttle body that goes from your gas pedal to your throttle body. The reason it's really needed is cars these days, especially modern cars, both of these cars actually, Subaru and the Chevrolet, are drive-by-wire, whereas like the Mark II that I have is throttle cable. If you want more response from your throttle pedal, usually what you would do on a throttle cable car is you would just adjust the throttle cable and make it however sensitive you want. Well, on newer cars with drive-by-wire, that's impossible to do without one of these. So I bought this currently on sale. I don't know if the sale is actually still running, but bought this around Christmas for the sale. I have actually used one of these before, and I really like Pedal Commander's setup. They have Eco City Sport Plus. I do not recommend Sport or Sport Plus. It's a little wild. Makes that throttle very, very sensitive. And then you also have 8 modes of adjustability with each Eco City Sport or Sport Plus. So you can do like 1, 2, 3, 4 up, or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 down to make it more or less sensitive in those settings. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just get this installed, and then we'll go on a little drive with it and go from there. I'm gonna do my best to try and show this in here if I can. Alright, so the first thing you're gonna want to do on my setup, I've got this aftermarket little pocket here that goes right where my fuse panel goes. You can see it kind of looks like the OEM one, but I have a pocket here. This is where I'm going to store my Pedal Commander after I install it. Got all my fuse diagrams there, and what we're basically going to end up doing is there is a plug right here at the top of this throttle pedal. Let me try and get some more light in here. Right at the top here. All I'm going to do is just disconnect that. There is a press lock on there, so just be very careful not to break that. And we're going to plug that in. And on second thought, I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the pedal out to actually make it a little better to work on for me. Alright, so I do apologize about that, but as you can see here, I've taken out the pedal here. What happens here is this is where that drive-by-wire plugs in. Plugs into the throttle here. All I did was just take the 2 nuts off that holds this in place. That way I could see it better, and just remove it that way. And now what I'm going to actually do is take out my Pedal Commander here, and we're going to go ahead and install this. What I like to do on stuff, especially when I'm doing wiring, is kind of position it where I want it first. That way I have everything routed correctly, and we just go from there. So what I'm actually going to do, so I'm going to tuck some of this wiring back here in the fuse panel, and then bring it up and down to the throttle area. That way we can work with it there. I actually did not realize how difficult this was going to be due to how tight of a space this is inside of the Subaru. It's a bit funny, but also true. Alright, so what I have here, this is going to be your pass-through that plugs into your OEM plug from the car. This, on the other hand, this here is going to plug straight into this throttle cable, or into this throttle pedal. I apologize. And it just snaps in like that. And the way you can tell, this one's a little bit longer, and it's also a female end with pins. This one is a male end, or a female end without pins. This one is a male end with pins. All right, so we're just gonna toss that back in there. Now what we need to do is actually take the pedal, go up and underneath the brake pedal, because you don't want to interfere with your brake system. That would not be good. And we're going to take the one from the car and we are going to plug it straight into the pass-through from the pedal commander. And then we're going to slip this back on here and start tightening. Remember, don't always tighten first. Hand thread first and then start tightening. All right, I do have those bolts back in there. And I apologize, this is not going to be a good quality video. But sometimes working on cars is not easy. And I mean, this definitely is not hard by any means. It's just a little tight. So I do have those bolts back in there. You can see here I have everything plugged in, and basically what we're going to do now is just kind of make sure this is tucked out of the way. It's not going to interfere with anything, and I'm actually going to zip tie this to this main body harness up underneath here, and then run it up and out my fuse panel, and it'll sit inside that pocket. But the first thing I want to do before I do all of that is just ensure I have no check engine lights or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and start the car. All right, and as you can see, we have no lights on the dash other than the door being open and the coolant being too cold. So what we're going to do is go ahead and finish up this install. I'm going to go ahead and just turn this back off here in a second after I adjust this. So I plugged this in, it's already in Sport Plus mode, so that tells me they probably kind of messed with this from the factory, probably for testing. I think my sweet spot is usually City 2 based on the last time I had this installed. So we're gonna go ahead and just stick with that, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this install. I do apologize, I had some technical difficulties. I ended up wrapping up this install. My next video, I'm going to actually drive around in the Subaru and kind of review this, just so you all can see. You won't actually notice anything, but you can feel it if you actually purchase this.